Well, go on, nosy people, my inquisitive crew. So I want to talk about Real Housewives of ATL. And we have to pick up with, of course, this storyline here with Drew and her husband that she's currently divorcing, Ralph. Now, in this scene, I just thought it was just really interesting the way he was trying to sort of gaslight her. They've gone on a date, which they had agreed to throughout counselling. But Ralph no longer goes to counselling. He doesn't want to go because the counsellor's obviously pointing out his issues that probably, he might find hard to digest. So he's not necessarily going there. But then, I just figured it was just interesting the way he just gaslights her. But it's good to see that Drew is now at least, awake to his nonsense. I mean, he's sitting there talking about he's not going therapy anymore. But yet he's talking about, putting things into practice. So I'm thinking, well, this is a good point where Drew says, well, look, you're not really going. So, what you're talking about, basically. And then he begins to kind of gaslight her and then try to tell her some rubbish about the frequency of arguments. And then talk about, well, you've got to be intellectual to understand what he's saying. Like, are you serious, dude? Like, you're talking about frequency. Are you serious? Like, frequency of arguments. And you're talking about being intellectual. This guy is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But like I said, I'm good to see that Drew's trying to at least hold him accountable and not actually fall for his gaslighting. And then you've got Ralph talking about, he wants to be like Barack and Obama. I'm like, okay, yeah. Last time it was Ike and Tina Turner. At least you got the male-female, ratio right there. And the name's right. But I still side-eyeing that in the first place. Like, he's just a mess. I just don't understand it. And then even later on, at the event that Drew puts on, the mental health event for her sister, he's just being petty and salty because she went to go and say hello to Ross first, and then you want to ignore your wife, say hello to all women, give them all hugs, and then she has to literally, say, oh, hey, husband, to get your attention. You still don't even turn around. I just thought this guy is just so petty. It's just ridiculous. But I did like the event. I thought the event was good, and it was good that Drew's sister got to share her experience with everyone. And I thought that was an important part of the show. But overall, I did think the show was a bit dry. Glad that, Sanga's got her good news about being pregnant, which is, great news for her and her hubby. But I didn't necessarily think the show was all that. I feel like the season does need a bit of a shake-up. Like, it's good to see, obviously, like, I like having Cynthia back. I think she's added in a little, her little spice here and there, getting some conversations going. But I still feel like, they need to bring the old ones back. Like, sort it out, rejig it a bit. But anyway, this whole, argument about, or discussion about being invited to Sheree's birthday, was like, whatever. But moving on to the counselling, I thought it was good that the counsellor reaffirmed to Drew that it's really important that she kind of puts herself first now because of all the nonsense that he's putting her through and asking her serious questions like, how long is she going to put up with it and stuff. So we know that obviously it does end in divorce when we can see what's happening now, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds. But anyway, what do you guys think of the episode? Other than that, I just think it was a bit dry, honestly. I just feel like Real Housewives of Atlanta at the moment is really struggling and they need an injection of a few more of the old goodies if they can. Or at least show more of their lives then, because I don't feel like we're getting into like the nitty-gritty, like what's going on with everybody, like what is going on. Like I like Sanga's family. Like, I think they joke. I kind of like, obviously, I like the Jamaican side, and I can relate to that. So I'm like, I like to see what's going on with them, and they kind of bring some spice. But otherwise, we're not really seeing what else is going on with people and their stories behind the scenes. You've got all this, talk about Martell and him not paying for the ladies. But I'm sure Melody is somewhere watching, kikiing to herself. Because I'm thinking, was that around the time that his money was tied up in legal issues, maybe? But anyway, I just thought that was a joke. But anyway, other than that, that's all I had to say on the show. What do you guys think?